We are group three, and our group proposal is reintegration after incarceration. I'm V.
I'm Bonnie.
I'm Mary.
I'm Amelia Miller.
Our presentation is about women ages 25 to 35 that are reintegrating into the community from Cobb County Adult Detention Center. As most of you know, individuals coming out of prison face the most challenges as they have to adjust to a different life, so to speak. They're coming out of prison with no stable income or home, limited access to education, and they are strangers to their family as well as their community. They're also most likely to reoffend, not only because of their lack of gaining and maintaining stability, but also because of their lack of knowledge of what to do and what's needed to sustain life outside of prison. We are proposing a peer support group that is an effective and timely intervention resource to help provide knowledge and assistance to women reintegrating into the community. There are four sections: group goals, group organization, group format, outcomes, and evaluation.
Group goals include providing education, developing healthy networks, and promoting mental health and well-being. Providing resources for successful integration. So one of the core functions of this peer support group is to educate participants about the community and individualized resources available to them. The group setting provides practical tools and support that are crucial for a successful transition. The focus group offers assistance in key areas, including enhancing communication skills, self-efficacy, problem-solving techniques, GED preparation and connections, employment readiness, including resume building and job application guidance, and access to housing resources and preparedness for independent living. By addressing these needs, participants are better equipped with the skills required to navigate challenges and reestablish themselves within their communities. Another vital goal of the peer support group is to assist participants in developing a strong peer support network. According to the American Psychological Association, regularly talking and listening to others helps put problems into perspective. Many individuals facing mental health challenges feel isolated, and participating in a group allows them to realize they are not alone, providing a significant sense of relief. Here, participants are guided in creating a safety plan that includes setting short-term and long-term goals, identifying emergency contacts, and ensuring they have a support system in place by establishing peer supporters, mentors, and community connections. Finally, addressing the emotional and mental health needs of participants during their transition back into the community, as they are particularly affected by incarceration, is essential. The peer support group will incorporate group therapy sessions aimed at promoting emotional well-being. These therapeutic sessions will offer participants a supportive environment to process their experiences and work toward healing and emotional growth. A focus will be on matters such as trauma, emotional regulation, stresses related to incarceration and reintegration, and developing constructive perspectives on challenges and experiences, focusing on solutions, embracing resilience, and cultivating a mindset that promotes emotional well-being and personal growth. So in summary, the group goals for participants in the support group included enhanced education and access to community resources, increased self-efficacy and confidence, strengthened emotional and social support networks, and improved emotional regulation. Ultimately, these goals aim to help participants successfully transition back into society while reducing the risk of recidivism. The key objective is to help members transfer the skills and behaviors they've learned in the group to their everyday lives in fostering long-term success and well-being.
Okay, next we're going to talk about the group organization. So we're going to look at the group setting and composition, how we recruited and selected members, and then finally the group structure. So as for group setting and composition, the meetings are going to be held in a small meeting room in the Ron Anderson Recreation Center in Cobb County. The groups will be composed of young adult women ages 25 to 35 who have been released from the Cobb County Adult Detention Center within the last 16 weeks. So the way that we're going to select and recruit members is we are going to team up with pre-release reintegration programs at the Cobb County Adult Detention Center and also the Cobb County State Court Sentence Enforcement Unit to get referrals. And that will be one layer of our selection process. And then on our own, we're going to require prospective participants to complete a questionnaire, individual interviews with the facilitators, and then each member is going to attend a mandatory orientation before their first session together. Okay, and then the group structure, the length and frequency of meetings. Every meeting will cover a 90-minute section broken down, and we'll talk about that later in this presentation. Participants are going to meet 2 times a week for 4 weeks. The curricula and membership will rotate after every 4-week cycle, allowing us to support far more members of the community. The group size is going to vary from 6 to 10 members. That'll keep it intimate enough and where everyone can relate on a common experience, and at the same time, keep enough diversity in the group that everyone gets to share their own unique experiences. And then the group will have a closed format during each 4-week cycle, but then there will be open enrollment in between 4 weeks.
Next, we will talk about the group format, which includes participant preparation, curriculum, and session planning. Preparing members for a group focused on integration of incarceration individuals into the community at large requires intentional and thoughtful planning. Preparation involves several key steps, including providing clear information about the group's purpose, structure, and expectations. Forming a small introductory or pre-group of members will effectively establish the larger group of members. In the pre-group session, screenings and assessments of the members will be the initial evaluation to assess the group's members' needs, challenges, and readiness for the group. The questionnaires will be completed through individual interviews, questionnaires, and referral feedback from prison staff. During pre-group sessions, mental health, coping skills, and any trauma will be assessed to understand how it may affect the group members' participation. The pre-group also, participants will identify and share unique needs and expectations as well. Establishing group rules is essential in creating a safe, respectful, and productive environment in any group, but especially for integration-focused groups. The pre-groups are to be established via a collaborative rule-making process. Group members are encouraged to participate in creating the rules, which promote a sense of ownership and responsibility, which also increases adherence to the guidelines. There will be a curriculum to provide the group with the most effective results. A structured curriculum can be highly beneficial for integration by providing guidance on key topics and addressing areas of concern. Certain topics specifically aimed at incarcerated women will be important to address. Some topics will likely emerge organically as the group members process their experiences. Some of the topics that we would like to address in our group are addressing mental health and substance abuse, addressing physical and reproductive health care, provide trauma-informed services, employment and financial literacy, identify self-worth and empowerment, release prevention, and lastly, goal setting and life planning. While the topics and subject matters may change, the sessions will remain consistent, provide clear goals, and encourage engagement. Here's a sample of our 90-minute session and what this may look like. We will start with a welcome, introduction, and check-in, which will be an icebreaker activity overview of the session. We will move into introduction and discussion of the topic. We will then go into group discussion activities. We will have skill building, which will include some role playing and maybe one-on-one discussion, processing and reflection. We will have conclusion and homework. And then lastly, we will close the group with positive affirmations.
Finally, we will talk about the group outcomes and the evaluation. For evaluation, we use both qualitative methods of evaluation and quantitative methods of evaluation, as well as overall desired benchmarks throughout the term. As far as qualitative methods of evaluation goes, the group will have pre and post interviews that the facilitators will conduct while the participants will complete them. These will be anonymous as possible and will help us to tailor the group for exactly what it needs and the topics at hand. We will also track the progress of the group through weekly surveys and reflective journaling. These surveys are also key in providing information that we can use to tailor the group and make sure that it is benefiting everyone as much as possible. As far as qualitative methods of evaluation go, we will have pre and post assessments that the participants will complete and will be administered by the facilitators. These assessments are going to look at quantitative knowledge of knowledge and understanding of the various topics that are being discussed within the group. We will also track weekly progress through key performance indicators or KPIs. KPIs are typically used in the business world to track smaller goals leading up into one bigger goal. So through the KPIs, group members can be encouraged to have smaller goals leading into an overall goal for the term of the group. Finally, we do have qualitative and quantitative benchmarks that we'd like to hit as well. The qualitative benchmarks would be the perceived level of competence regarding the group topics. This could be understanding, and this could be just overall emotion and feeling towards this as well. Whereas the qualitative benchmarks would be looking at the increase in financial literacy, employment readiness, and the amount of community engagement within the group as well. We also want to see a decrease in things like substance dependency and perceived levels of depression and anxiety.
Okay, do you guys have any questions for us?
Hey, y'all, great presentation. This seems like a really interesting group. I'm curious, with it being such a quick timeline of like a 4-week group, if people can go through are allowed to go through the group again, and if they're not, do you still keep in contact or like support people like kind of how you help people long term? Do you stay in contact with them after they complete the group, or what does that look like?
Yeah, I can take that one unless someone else in my group wants to take it. So obviously it's really nuanced since we are kind of throwing in that therapeutic piece. So whoever's conducting the therapy, who would ever be the on-site therapist, obviously like it would be a little inappropriate for them to keep in touch with people after they leave the program. However, the other facilitators, since we are helping these people create like a crisis plan or a safety plan, we could keep in touch with their new practitioners, mentors, whatever that looks like. The idea really is to help these people find a sense of independence. So ideally, we wouldn't keep in touch unless absolutely necessary. And I'm sure those instances would come up. As far as somebody rejoining the group, I wouldn't say that would never happen. I would like to keep it as limited as possible so that we can help more people. But yeah, it's very nuanced. Any other questions, or do any of my group members want to add to that?
Thank you, Bonnie.
Mhm.
I have a question. How do you know if there was progress made from the safety plan implemented?
Group, are y'all okay with me answering the question?
Absolutely.
So we do have pre and post assessments. So what we would do is we would compare where they were in the beginning with their pre, as well as compare it to the post assessment. That way we're able to gauge what was the changes, what was the difference, and what all that they grow upon and what things changed for them.
What would you say would be an incentive for inmates to join this group?
Group 3, are y'all okay with me taking this question as well?
Yes.
As most of you know, whenever you get out of prison, you do have probation, you have community service hours, things of that nature that you're responsible for doing. So that's the biggest incentive, is knocking off some of the time for probation, as well as knocking off some of those community hours that's going to be required once released from prison.
Thank you, V. Okay, if there's no other questions, I'm just gonna go to the thank you. And then those are our resources. I did that. Thank you. Okay.